Hey, Craig, this is a beautiful image. I mean, this is just absolutely stunning. It really gave me pause when I saw this the first time I went through it. And I think that's, you know, large print worthy. Really, really lovely. And then, okay, so here, so I am surprised that you went with incident metering in this situation, because if you wanted to use your meter in incident mode, what you would have had to have done is just like get way over there directly onto your subject and meter your subject like that. It really wouldn't have done much good to meter where you're standing. Remember, in incident mode, you're metering the amount of light falling directly onto the lumisphere. So you're really just metering the light right by yours. For this particular situation, you would have actually been forced, your hand would have been forced to shoot in reflective mode, and then to compensate for the fact that this isn't actually supposed to be medium gray. You know, it's supposed to be a bright white. Does that make sense? I mean, you just, because to use your meter in meter mode, you really have to get right up there with your subject, hold your meter against your subject with the lumisphere facing back towards the camera lens. And the lumisphere has to be in the quality of light that you're shooting. So you would, over here, you would meter in the shadows, and then you would also meter in the highlights. Does that make sense? So I'm actually surprised that these came out as well as they did. That being said, I don't know if you noticed this, but on your contact sheet, your white balance for your nighttime shots is perfect. It's absolutely gorgeous. But your white balance for basically all of the shots where it's still a little bit day is just outrageously blue. And I'm wondering what sort of preset you were using, like especially these ones during the daytime here. They're just too blue, so blue. And I'm wondering what white balance preset you were using to get that shockingly blue feel to all of them. This is the only one that's not too blue. This feels normal. The rest of them feel like they were colored in blue. It doesn't end up mattering too much when I'm looking at, you said 13 and 14 are your favorites. With 14 at least, actually. 13 is really, this is just too blue. I don't know if you can see this. I can't remember if you mentioned that whether or not you had a color blindness. I think between my 3 photo classes, I think I have something like 6 people who are colorblind, and so I'm getting things crossed. But if you're using a preset for anything other than literally direct sunlight, this just whatever your preset is going to work. The only way you could shoot this is in direct sunlight, or you could manually set your white balance, your in-camera white balance, to somewhere between 5500 and 6000 K, and that's about it. That's all that's going to work. This is perfect. I get the feeling that you shot the whole thing with whatever preset you're using here, and it ended up working beautifully for night, but not so well for during the day. Does that make sense? And then the only other bit of really technical feedback I have to give you, let's see if I can find it here, this is a good one to explain, is that you really, when you're shooting architecture, you really need to watch your adjacent angles. And when I say adjacent, I mean how the angles kind of line up to the frame of the photograph. So here, look at what happens. I don't know if I'm close enough. I think I am. But can you see how this ends up being, instead of a parallel line, the little rectangle that I've made here, a parallel line, a line that's totally parallel to the building, it ends up making an acute angle. Can you see that? I think it's pretty pronounced over here too. See how I can see that little sliver of light right there? That's just because your tripod is not doing the job for you that you want it to. Now, I know that you explained that when you were shooting, you had everything all lined up on grids and everything was perfect, but the wind was really not working in your favor. And we can see by how much movement there is in the tree here and over here that the wind is definitely not working in your favor here. And so if you don't have a really heavy tripod to work with, a trick that you can do is gaffer's tape bags of sand to your tripod, or like hang a 2-liter from it, or something to hold it down in the wind. Because I have 2 little lightweight tripods that I favor over my heavier duty one. But yeah, in a windy situation and almost in just a breezy situation, I need to weigh them down. And hopefully that helps. Let's see, I think you gave me some pictures of your tripod. Yes. This is almost the same tripod I have. So beautifully, you've got that see that little thing down there? That extra little phalange that is hanging below the contact for your 3-way support it probably has a screw thread in it. So what you can do is you can find whatever thread it is, and then screw a little eye hook in there, and that eye hook is for the purpose of hanging something heavy from it, so you can add a little bit of extra weight to your tripod. how lovely. You know, that's even a fun shot. It's not a real high quality, I know, but that's a pretty neat shot. I know that's just what it looked like from where you're standing. Okay, so like I said, your deep nighttime shots here are just stunning, and these ones too. These like that sort of golden hour when it's not quite night yet. There's still a little bit of light in the sky. Those are stunning. The daytime ones, very strange blue haze going on it. So like here and here, these two contact sheets are just phenomenal, really beautiful. The daytime shots are actually, you know. These are neat too, to tell you the truth. The blue intense blue isn't bothersome here either, but it becomes very troublesome in the daytime shots. So I hope that makes sense. And really stunning job with that nighttime photography. Absolutely stunning job. I read your whole write-up about your settings and what your rationale behind them. Exactly the logic I would have gone with too. I wouldn't have dared push my ISO above 400, and I would have just dealt with the wind and suffered through it until I got the shot I wanted. And I would, like I said, if you don't have one already, go find a screw eye that'll fit into that little phalange hanging down. You can barely see it, but hanging right there in your tripod, and yeah, get a screw eye in there, and then you can hang some weight from it, and you shouldn't have some troubles in the wind again. And yes, I also have an older telephoto lens that I use if I'm going to be forced to use a telephoto lens, and it is problematic. They're very heavy. You can get I forget what they're called. I almost think they're like camera arms, like they're extra supports that you can purchase that you actually screw onto the tripod mount for your camera, and then they have an additional tripod mount on it, but it's like this extra thing that you can support the lens with, a heavy lens with, so then the tripod ends up doing the support of the lens and not the camera so much. Okay, thanks so much for submitting this. It was really fun to look at.